morning, I'm Mai Rodriguez sitting in for Mikey Oreta. You're watching Basis Points, where we dive deep into the numbers and stories that drive our economy and shape our world. The headlines: the Philippine debt service burden goes up by 16.82% from January to September. The Philippine Competition Commission greenlights a landmark deal between Meralco, San Miguel, and Therma Nat Gas Power Inc. to acquire LNG power facilities. And Luigi Mangione pleads not guilty to killing United Health CEO Brian Thompson. Let's take a quick look at the financial markets. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite ended higher on Monday as gains by many of the so-called Magnificent Seven stocks pushed benchmarks up on trading day. The S&P 500 gained 0.73%, while the Nasdaq gained 0.98%. Meanwhile, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.16%.
Santa Claus rally is a rally up from the very end of the calendar year. So starting today, tomorrow, in through the end of the current calendar year and into the first few days of the new calendar year. So we're looking here over the next week or so, week and a half. Remember, it's two kind of full weeks, but it's not two full weeks of trading because we have a couple holidays in there. We have a half a day of trading tomorrow. I think one of the causes of this every year is let's go with some general optimism for a new year and new resolutions. Prosperous new year for everybody.
Over in Europe, markets are mixed. The FTSE went up 0.22%. Germany's DAX index shed 0.18%, while France's CAC 40 slipped 0.03%. The Philippine debt service burden, or DSB, inched up by 16.82% from January to September. Data from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, or BSP, shows that debt service burden increased by $1.85 billion to $12.85 billion in the 9-month period this year. This is higher than the $11 billion in the same period last year. The principal of the total debt service burden also increased by 16.82% to $6.93 billion from $5.93 billion in the same period last year. The national government plans to borrow 409 billion pesos from the domestic market in the first quarter of next year as it seeks to front-load borrowings ahead of the May midterm elections. In a notice on its website, the Bureau of Treasury announced it seeks to raise 66 billion from the issuance of Treasury bills, or T-bills, and 365 billion via Treasury bonds, or T-bonds, in the January to March period. In January alone, the government plans to borrow 147 billion domestically, which consists of 22 billion in T-bills and 125 billion in T-bonds. The Ninoy Aquino International Airport is undergoing major changes to improve services and to accommodate more passengers. Hanati reports.
Major changes await passengers at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, or NAIA. San Miguel Corporation's ultra Bilyonaryo and big boss Ramon Ang revealed his plans to improve services at the airport. This includes adding seats in terminals to make waiting more comfortable for passengers. These upgrades are targeted to happen next month. High food prices will no longer be a problem, thanks to the planned close monitoring in NAIA. Ang says no one should take advantage of passengers with overpriced products or services. This family from Latvia is now excited to try the food at NAIA, especially with the lower prices. They chose to spend their holiday season vacation here in the Philippines.
We didn't try the food, but everything was really cozy. It would be good if it would be cheaper still, but it's okay right now.
Marlo and his colleagues also welcome this development as they found the food at the airport too expensive. They're set to fly to Saudi Arabia in early January next year.
Malaking tulong sa amin yun para makatipid din po kami.
NAIA is now under the management of the new NAIA Infrastructure Corporation, headed by San Miguel. The airport's operations were turned over in September, after over a decade of being run by the Manila International Airport Authority. Passengers can expect a more comfortable travel experience at the new NAIA, with services focused on comfort and passenger welfare. Hanati, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
The Philippine Competition Commission, or PCC, approves the $3.3 billion landmark deal of Meralco, Therma Natgas Power Incorporated, and San Miguel Global Power Holdings Corp. This will allow them to proceed with their joint acquisition of 2 gas-fired power plants and liquefied natural gas facility in Batangas. The competition watchdog said that the deal is subject to conditions aimed at ensuring fair competition and transparency. Under the deal, MGen and Aboitiz Power will invest in 2 of SMGP's gas-fired power plants, the 1,278-megawatt Ilihan power plant and the new 1,320-megawatt combined cycle power facility. We're taking a quick break. Stay with us as we dive deep into the numbers and narratives that matter most to your bottom line.
Good morning, I'm Ferdy Salvador.
Good morning, I'm Mikey Oreta, and welcome to Industry Beacon, where we shine a light on the trailblazers, the disruptors, and the industry leaders shaping our future.
And in each episode, we explore how they're staying ahead in their fields, one industry at a time.
Can bring luxury products, and that the Filipino nurses and the malasakit is really what makes us really good.
Compared to other industries like oil and gas, you can never compete salary-wise.
Industry Beacon on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, what does the investigation cover? We tackle the issues.
The President's immunity from suit is absolute.
We clarify matters and we get on point.
Watch his press con. Sinabi niya na ayaw niya ng kudeta.
What is questionable about the AR, sir? The Vice President keeps insisting walang active threat kung hindi ako mamamatay.
Tignan na lang natin, mahirap pang pangunahan eh.
Pinky Webb on point.
You're back on Basis Points. 2025 is just a few days away. Now may be a good time to assess one's achievements this year and then start setting targets for next year. To help us do that, we'll talk with Recode coach AJ Garcia. Good morning, AJ. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, Mai. It's nice to see you again.
Very good to see you, and you're one of those people that I would want to talk to when doing my end of year reflections, and we'll go to that in a bit. First, tell us about why Recode, why the Recode coach?
Right. So Recode means recoding your mind so that you can turn the language in your mind from I can't do it to of course I can do it. I've done it several times in the past. I know that I can do it again. So it's you recoding the limits, the limitations in your mind so that you can get from where you are right now and where you want to go. So that's why I call myself a Recode coach.
Yes, and very timely the discussion today because we're going to welcome 2025 in a few days, and this is the time where we usually set our goals for next year. So what are the things that we should consider when setting a goal or your life goals?
Right. One of the things that I would ask people when they set their goals, the first one is, do you really want it bad enough? I think the reason why people are not able to set and even achieve their goals is because they don't know if they really want it bad enough. That's the only thing that would set you to success if it's a non-negotiable for you. So I want to share maybe 2 things, the reason why it's not yet a non-negotiable. It's you want it, but you don't want it bad enough. 2 things. Number 1 is maybe you don't really want it. Maybe that desire, that goal has been passed down to you or everybody's pursuing it. So it feels like maybe I think it's right to pursue this as well. So it's important to ask yourself, what do I truly want? If I'm just talking to myself, nobody else is listening, what do I secretly want? What makes me feel alive? What makes me feel like I would get up each morning and go for it?
So you really have to dig deep for that to know what you really want.
Yeah. I would even say, there's going to be a lot of shedding conditioning from the society, from school, your environment, so that you would come back to what you truly desire.
Okay, what does it mean then to set SMART goals?
Oh yeah, to set SMART goals is it's like giving your mind an instruction. It's like searching, Google searching. When you type, for example, I'm looking for a cake recipe, I would just type cake recipe. It's gonna give me all the recipes, right? But when it's clear to me that I want something that's chocolate, vegan, and Pinoy style, then the results would be narrowed down. So it's also you giving your mind an instruction. This is what I want to get. This when, how, where, with whom, and how I'm going to feel when it's done.
All right, so for business owners and CEOs, what is your advice for them? How should they set their goals? Or is there any particular way that they do this kind of thing?
Good. Yeah, I love this question, Mai. I want to say that business is really a reflection of the business owners. This is a reflection of them. So it starts with them. If I am going to talk to business owners, I'm going to ask them, what is the intention? Why are you starting this business? Or why did you start this business? Then come back to that. Because here, they would remember or realize their own values and their own struggles, because it's going to get reflected in their business. So to the business owners, if you're going to plan for your 2025, ask yourself again, why did I start this business? And where do I want to go? How is this serving me, my family, and the people that I am serving? That's the first thing. I want to say, Mai, that business experts are already experts in what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They're good at strategies. What I want to offer is less of the how, but more of the why and the who. Why they're doing it, so that they don't get lost with all the hows, all the strategies around them, and the who. Sino ba sila?
Who are they doing it for?
That, and also, sino ba sila as a business owner?
Who are they as a business owner?
Yeah. Are they, does it mean that I am an empowered business owner who would like to serve the world? Or maybe, no, I'm doing this so that I can give something for my family. So, minsan nawawala kasi. Ang daming pwedeng gawin, ang daming strategies, there's so many ways to make money, but the real foundation, the very root, kapag nawala yon, the direction would be gone.
Yeah. Okay, now at what point do we reassess for 2025? When do we assess our progress, check where we're going, or if we do need to recalibrate?
Ending the year, transitioning to the next year is a very good time to start doing that. At least the big one, the big planning. If the question is, should I do it now while it's still 2024, or maybe after 2025, it depends really if what they need right now. If they need rest, then go ahead and take a rest, do it next year. But if they feel the energy and the fire to do it now, then go ahead. But what I wanna say is that we don't do it just each time that the year changes. We do it every month, every quarter, regularly, because there's a lot of changes. So we want to know if we are progressing or not. Are we still on track? Do we want to change things around? There.
Okay, right. Coach AJ, final words, top 3 tips on how we can welcome 2025 with a fresh energy, a positive energy, and a good mindset.
Yeah, thank you, Mai. Number 1 is have a good rest, so that you have a space in your mind to think and really feel into what you want to do for next year. That's number 1. Number 2 is don't be afraid to have a big goal, and a goal that you really want. Make it non-negotiable. Make it non-negotiable. When I say make it non-negotiable, ask yourself why you want it, and then ask yourself what I am not willing to tolerate anymore. Ayoko nang tiisin. For the longest time, I have not been achieving that goal. Ayoko na. I don't want it anymore. What are the things that I'm not willing to tolerate anymore, so that I have an extra push? Okay, this time I'm gonna go for it.
Yes, non-negotiable means non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
Okay. Thank you, Coach AJ, for dropping by this Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas, Mai. Thank you.
All right, we're taking a breather. Basis points. We'll be right back. You're back on Basis Points. Japanese automakers Honda and Nissan announces the start of the talks of potential merger, making it a historic pivot for Japan's motor industry that underlines the threat Chinese-made electric vehicles now pose to some of the world's best-known car makers. The partnership aims for combined sales of 30 trillion yen and operating profit of more than 3 trillion yen through the potential merger. They also plan to wrap up talks around June next year and set up a holding company by August 2026. Moreover, smaller car maker Mitsubishi Motors is also considering joining the merger. SM Prime Holdings director Han Si buys shares in the family-owned property giant. This after its price inched down to 24 to 25 pesos Thursday, the lowest since the COVID-19 pandemic. Si acquired more than 189,000 shares between December 17 and 18 at prices ranging from 25.45 to 25.95 each. He now owns 682 to 4 million shares in SM Prime, valued at 17 to 16 billion pesos based on current market prices. The Lechon has always been a symbol of wealth and property, a staple during grand celebrations like Christmas and the New Year feasts. But has the economic crunch affected this Filipino tradition? Agatha Gregorio filed this report.
A symbol of wealth and celebration, the ever-crispy and iconic lechon is a staple in every Filipino feast. But some Pinoys may struggle to get their hands on them this year. At the lechon capital, La Loma in Quezon City, 1 kilogram of lechon is sold for 1,000 pesos to 1,500 pesos. But the price of an entire lechon increased by up to 5,000 pesos compared to the previous year, according to some vendors.
Obligado po eh. Obligado pong itaas eh. Kasi dating mga kapital po kayo ng 8,000 sa buhay. Ngayon po 10,000 sa maliliit. Sa buhay pa lang po.
Medyo mahal. Kasi doon, banda ron sa dulo, umabot ng 14, 13, ganyan, 11. Dito, pababa na kasi ito. Nakuha namin ng 10.
Some vendors say the spread of African swine fever had a huge impact.
Ngayon po talagang grabe ang taas. Hindi gaya po ng mga pinagdaanan ng pandemic hanggang makalagpas. Ngayon po sobra. Higpit po ng permit po ng NMIS sa inspection po ng baboy tsaka po ng city veterinary.
Okay naman ang bintahan natin, kaya lang medyo shorted tayo sa baboy kasi siyempre napakahigpit po ng ating ng meat inspector. Kailangan po kompleto yung natin bago makarating ang baboy sa amin. Kaya safe din po yung mga kapwa Pilipino natin kakain ng lechon.
Vendors add their supply is limited now as they are only able to get around 50 pigs in one truck from suppliers when they used to get over 100 due to tighter restrictions by inspectors. Despite this, vendors say sales are up this year.
Tradisyon na po ng Pilipino na mayroong lechon sa pagkainan. Kaya kahit anong mahal ng lechon, talagang mahirap man, may mayaman man, basta tradisyon nilang may lechon, pinipilit na magkaroon ng handang lechon.
Bihira lang naman yan sa isang taon kaya siyempre lagi kami pagod din, puyat. Kaya siyempre i-treat naman namin yung sarili namin sa kahit mga ganitong bagay lang.
If you're looking for a more affordable alternative, online shops also sell cochinillo at around 4,500 to 6,000 pesos. But some of the more famous kinds can go for around 10,000 pesos. Agatha Gregorio, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Robina Gokongwei-Pe turns over the reins as President and Chief Executive Officer of Robinsons Retail Holdings, Inc. or RRHI to longtime executive Stanley Ko as she marks her 40th year in the company. Gokongwei-Pe will still be on board as chairman of RRHI. Meanwhile, billionaire Lance Gokongwei praises his sister, saying Robina found a capable successor in Stanley Ko. He thanks her for a job well done. Luigi Mangione, the man accused of assassinating United Health CEO Brian Thompson, pleaded not guilty to New York State on murder charges that brand him a terrorist. If convicted, he faces a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. Mangione was arrested after a 5-day manhunt in Pennsylvania on December 9th. Santa greets the crowd that gathered in the Santa Claus village in northern Finland before delivering gifts across the globe. Santa set off in his reindeer-driven sleigh, waving to the crowd as he left, wishing everyone a happy Christmas. He also told the children that if they're good, they will get presents.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to be here on this very important and exciting day. Actually, I think it's impossible to be good and nice all the time. Yes, it's too much to ask. You should just try to do your best, as in all things in life. And if you can be quite good almost all the time, don't worry about the gifts. It's time to relax.
And that's it for Basis Points. I'm Mai Rodriguez. We'll be back tomorrow for news on the financial markets and more. From all of us here at the Bilyonaryo News Channel, we wish you a Merry Christmas.